everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. So I have talked about a few new artists so far, and we will be stemming more into their catalogs as we go. Like and subscribe. Of course, look at Patreon or Spotify for exclusives. Each are $5. Either of them you can be able to decide which one you want to choose from. Either way, enjoy, and thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So today we are going to talk about Janet Jackson's 20YO. This album to me was still a good album. A lot of people didn't quite understand her era for this album, despite it being blatantly just saying, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years. Just like a Design of a Decade, this is a step further. It's a whole new album. It's just called 20 years old, like 20YO. So let's get into it. 20YO is the 9th studio album by Janet Jackson. It was first released in Japan on September 20th, 2006 by Virgin Records. Its title makes reference to her third studio album, Control, and is a commemoration to its 12th anniversary. 20YO represents the celebration of joyful celebration and history-making musical style of Control. An R&B and dance album, Jackson enlisted a range of producers to work on material with including L Rock, Manuel Seal, the Avila Brothers, and No ID, in addition to her longtime partners Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and then boyfriend Jermaine Dupri. So this is, after Damita Jo, after the Super Bowl. This is just in the midst of her pretty much just persevering, if you will. This was the persevering album, where it's just the blackballing, the people just acting weird and feeling like she just did not want to just be a cultural icon, which I just find weird. But this was the album to let them know, like, I'm still me, I'm still that girl, and y'all gonna get into it. And Discipline took that a step further. It really did. Discipline was like, all right, y'all didn't want to hear me on 20YO, y'all definitely gonna hear me on this one. And 20YO received mixed reviews from music critics, with some of them questioning the involvement of Dupri. They may have felt that he was, present in a way that, it was taking away from her creative space. And I can't say whether that's true or not, and this is in defense of her, because it's like, music's music, and in a lot of her albums she was committed to someone, whether we knew about it or not. And in this case, we know that she's committed to somebody in the midst of the I Want You music video. And and it's okay, she was dating. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. Like I said, you had to be of some status even to be in the top 10 regardless, because and she's legendary for that. Like, she did her thing. And the thing is, like I've said with debut albums, or even just albums that may have been released later, sometimes the public may overshadow that project with other projects. But in this case, she came at the right time, because there was all these other projects coming out in 2006. Making it Jackson's 8th consecutive top 3 entry and 2nd consecutive top 2 album debut. The Record Academy certified it platinum, becoming Jackson's 8th consecutive platinum album worldwide. The album has sold 1.5 million copies. 20YO earned a Grammy Award nomination for Best Contemporary Album in 2007. So it was Grammy nominated, To promote the album, The singer appeared in various magazines and performed on Today and the 2006 Billboard Music Awards. To further promote the release online, Jackson launched the Design Me cover contest, giving fans an opportunity to create the artwork for the album by downloading images of her and creating proposed covers for the album. Jackson hand-picked dozens of images to be used in the contest and selected her top 4 favorites, which were used for the standard edition's cover on American pressings of 20YO. 3 singles were released for the album, which were Call on Me, So Excited, and With You. For the background of the album, it became Jackson's final album with Virgin Records. And it marked the end of a 13-year record history, a 13-year recording history with the label. Following the album's release, a producer who worked on the original 20YO concept prior to Dupree's involvement stated, the finished project we had before Jermaine took everything over is crazy. Ask Jimmy and Terry how they felt when Jermaine came in and changed almost everything. In 2005, Jackson initially worked with various producers, including the Neptunes, Dr. Dre, Kwame, and Polo Don. But the concept was changed when Dupree was selected to manage the project after becoming a division president at Virgin Records. After the album's release, Dupree was condemned for his project and misguidance of the album, and subsequently was removed from his position at Virgin Records. Jackson would later describe the time she released 20YO as a tough time, a tough period in my life. So, like I said in defense, she felt like, his input would help, and of course, ultimately, it was making it more tough on the process itself. But yes, it's a great album as far as just where she's come from and kind of piecing in the songs that you like, what you don't. But yes, it received generally mixed reviews, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics. The album received an average score of 52 based on 14 reviews, which indicates mixed or average reviews. The AllMusic gave the album 3.5 out of a 5-star rating, writing that with only a few exceptions, 20YO provides further refinements of the fun, flirtatious, mid-tempo songs of her past several albums. This is not a problem. So I can kind of agree with that, where it's just like, it is giving an album that you may have heard from her, but it is something of new. Like, it's something that she put new at that time. Yes. She did win a 5,000 Spins Award for Call on Me. And then Commercial Performance debuted at number 2 with 296,000 copies sold at its first week, behind Ludacris, which he released for Release Therapy. And they toured together too. This was considerably lower than Jackson's previous album, Damita Jo, which also opened at number 2 with 381,000 copies sold across the United States in 2004. 20YO became her smallest first week sales since The Velvet Rope, which reached number 1 with 202,000 copies. So The Velvet Rope at the time, was released within weeks of Butterfly and among other albums in 97. So for it to go number 1, it was like everyone was ready for her, and over time the sales grew because it was like, no, wait, there's a new Janet album? Like, yeah. Wait, what does it look like? Red. But yeah. does it say here? However, the effort debuted at the top of the R&B hip hop albums. In its second week, the album fell to number 9, selling 77,000 copies, representing a 74% drop in sales. And it additionally reached number 2 and number 3 on digital albums and top Tastemaker albums chart, respectively. So in other charts, it was doing well. As of January 2008, the estimated sales of the album in the US were 679,000 copies. So what I'm gonna also say in the defense of her, when this album dropped too, everybody was downloading. This was the 2006. You was downloading these MP3s, these albums. Everyone was downloading them, putting them on their iPads, iPod touches, their Androids, their also, well, I wouldn't even say Androids yet. I think Androids, when did, let me see. When did the first Android come out? Because, I am gonna possibly see other albums not sell it. Yeah, so hey, Android first came out September 23rd, 2008, right? This is 2006. People are already downloading music and making whatever CDs and stuff, and it was taking away from the sales. From all over, all albums alike. Just everybody was losing sales across the board. It didn't matter if it was rap, it didn't matter if it was hip hop, didn't matter. Well, that's the same thing. R&B, it didn't matter if it was. You could say pop too, because I may see more. Like I said, but it was hitting a lot of all genres, because it was like, what's this download sequence everybody's on, But yeah. That's truly what had happened. So let's get into the track list. So there's track 1, which is Intro 20, track 2, which is So Excited, featuring Kaya, track 3, which is Show Me, track 4, which is Get It Out Me, track 5, which is Do It To Me, track 6 is This Body, track 7 is 20 Part 2 Interlude, track 8, which is With You, track 9, which is Call On Me with Nelly, track 10, which is 20 Part 3 Interlude. Track 11 is Daybreak. Now, Daybreak is my favorite song on the album. I think it's one of my favorite songs where I was just like, oh my God, like this sounds like her. Like she just never left. I mean, most, if not damn near all of the songs in the album show like, this is a continuation from Demi to Joe. But yes. Track 12 is Enjoy, track 13 is 20 Part 4 Interlude, track 14 is Take Care, track 15 is Love to Love, track 16 is Outro 20 Part 5. And then there's the iTunes Store International Digital Edition bonus track, which is Roll With You. And that was another thing too, like people had copies of the album from when they bought it and would just throw it on the internet. And then people would kind of like convert it, I guess. Because if you're converting an iPhone download or iPod download or iTunes download and it's M4A and it's somehow an MP3 somewhere else, but I digress. But Days Go By was the Japanese edition bonus track, and then the deluxe edition bonus DVD had the photo shoot in the studio, dancer auditions, and then Call On Me, the making of the video. So, but yeah, R&B hip hop albums chart number 1, Billboard 200 number 2. Pretty much overseas didn't really receive it as well, because overseas was kind of like trying to understand what had happened a couple of years prior. But I will tell you, Feedback and Discipline, when we talk about it, that's when she was like, this is my comeback. Y'all played with me on these last 2 albums. I'm back. And yes, she persevered. And of course, I feel like that's the last one I need to really talk about besides the first 2, because we talked about Unbreakable. So yeah, we'll be back talking about discipline very soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and episode, and I'll be back with more.